Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
A U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett, Democrat out of Texas. She is supposed to be the future of the Democrat Party after a piece in The Atlantic praising her style. But Crockett attempted to suppress the article after the author went to other Democrats who are not so impressed with her. After she found out that the reporter was talking to other people, even though the article, I read it, it's pretty glowing. It's pretty glowing. It's an article in The Atlantic written about a rising Democrat. She said she revoked all of her permissions and she's shutting the profile down. You can't do it. To which the reporter said, yeah, that's not how it works. It makes her look bad, I think. It's supposed to make her look good, but it's like, hey, look at this woman. She's trash. Look at all the trashy stuff she does. Look at this trash. Isn't it great? She's trash. Look at this trash.
Number 6.
Governor-elect Coach United States Senator Tommy Tuberville outlined a governing philosophy for D.C. that might have something to do with what's going on here in the state of Alabama as well. He has made the argument that everything they do in D.C. should be about returning power to the states. He wants to see the states have more power, which is, again, conservative governing philosophy. But could that possibly have something to do with the idea that, as I announced him, Governor-elect Coach United States Senator Tommy Tuberville is about to be the governor? Oh, I think it probably does. He is comparing his new expected role as governor to that of a head football coach recruiting for Alabama. You know, you could have used Auburn as a philosophy, whatever. But anyway, the simple fact is every single thing is football for Tommy Tuberville. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to win, which he's already got locked up. So congratulations, Governor-elect.
Number 5.
An active shooter in Midtown Manhattan's business district triggered a massive response, and 5 total dead, including the shooter. And that's just a very sad story. One of the things that is being noted of this, it's that he may have been an active shooter who targeted the NFL's office. Now, I've heard a couple of different things. I don't know if that's true. I also read that there were people outside chanting "Free, Free Palestine." I don't know if that's true or not. Also, there's a thing going around showing that this office building was one of the targets to, quote, globalize the Intifada. But it looks like they have basically landed on the idea that this was a CTE or brain issue. But if he shot himself in the head, that doesn't really work for that. So this issue is still ongoing.
Number 4.
I don't know why Donald Trump is handling the Jeffrey Epstein issue the way he is handling the Jeffrey Epstein issue. If he would like, I'd be more than happy to fly to Mar-a-Lago or to Scotland or to New Jersey to the golf course. And I'm more than happy to sit down with him and say, hey, dude, stop. I mean, just, you don't say, I kicked him out of there. You know why? Because he tried to steal my employees. You don't say that. You also don't say that I didn't have the privilege to go to the island. Even though I understand what you're saying and how you're saying it, you got to understand, there are people running around calling you a child molester and implying that anyone that says, I don't think Donald Trump is a child molester, is defending a cult leader. That's basically how it is. And none of that is true. You also should stop talking about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. These are things you should probably stop doing. You are making less than ideal statements. But, yeah, tighten it up, okay? You're hurting yourself and your supporters.
Number 3.
Alabama lawmakers are calling for a state investigation into the hot car death of a 3-year-old in the Department of Human Resources custody. And yes, that's exactly what we should be getting. We need to have more of this. We saw Chris Elliott talking about this yesterday on this very program. But yeah, that cannot come soon enough. He said he wants to hear more assurances from Governor Ivey and DHR that they will examine what happened and how the state can prevent it. They also want more information about this. And if you look at the DHR statement, no. The provider has terminated their employee due to the confidentiality. DHR cannot comment further regarding the identity of the child or the exact circumstance. That is not good enough. That is not good enough. I don't want to hear this. We can't have this conversation. Elliot says it's not a blame thing. It's just a plea to engage on a little bit more intense level than simply saying it's somebody else's fault. That doesn't fly with me. And he's exactly right on that. An investigation is warranted.
Number 2.
Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, I believe, is echoing a lot of our sentiments when he says the individuals, the monsters involved in this child sex ring, this child rape dungeon, this horrific bunker situation in Bibb County, yeah, they need to be put to death. And I think we all agree on that. I hope we all agree on it. We should all agree on that. Even if some people tell us we're not allowed to talk about it, which we'll get to here in just a second. But Steve Marshall says the depravity that goes along with this is just something that most folks can't get their heads around, because if there's anything that we want to be able to do, that's protect and foster the safety of our children. And he says we need to put some legislation on the table like they have in Florida that says put them to death. Those that would commit offenses like this, I truly have no words. And I do think it's going to cause an additional discussion in Alabama. That will, and he continued to talk about legislation to reinstate the death penalty for these cases.
Now, time for the number one thing you'll be talking about today.
But Mallory Hagan, a talking head, one of the very few Democrat talking heads in the state of Alabama that can cut through anything, is using that ability and her very past prime as a former beauty queen to come out and say, you know what would be nice? What if we blame Donald Trump and his supporters for this thing that happened in Bibb County? What if not only do we blame the people in the Republican Party for this, what if we suggest that they're not even allowed to talk about it, and they surely should not be calling for the death penalty for these monsters? Now listen, a lot of her response, I think, is related to her being anti-death penalty. Okay, and you know, maybe she's feeling overly emotional about that. I don't know. But attacking people like me because I voted for Donald Trump and saying, oh, you voted for Donald Trump thrice, which I did, so you can't possibly say something about the child rape here. The implication there is like I'm pro-child rape or something. And I just want to say this to people like Mallory Hagan. You do know we're on the same side on this, right? We're on the same side. We think what happened here is vicious. The only difference between our position on this is you're a low-class piece of human garbage who is saying something that you don't believe. You don't actually think Donald Trump is a rapist. You're just a piece of garbage, and you're willing to say those things in order to try to get political points. And because you're a human piece of garbage, you don't care about the actual victims here. You only care about yourself and an attempt to make your podcast, which will never work. It's called Pretty Furious, so you're saying outrageous things. I get it. I'm in the business. Now, I'm actually making money at it, and I'm a professional, and I'm not ranting into the void on TikTok, but that's what you're trying to do. And Mallory Hagan, I have a message for you, and you're too cowardly to ever come on this program. I understand it. Why would you? I would destroy every part of you. You could not stand on your own 2 feet if someone said, explain yourself. It's impossible. You have to put your phone on, hit record, and rant with your face directly up to the screen. You are not capable of doing this. Please stop embarrassing yourself and the state of Alabama and Miss America and the state of New York, where you actually won because you couldn't win here. You went to New York and won, so you then could enter Miss America. Then you won that. So congratulations, you got an accomplishment. It's been a long time. It looks like it's been a long time. I don't know how long ago it actually was. But I'm more than happy to have this conversation with you, but I strongly suggest that you don't do that. But I have pitched to you the idea that you can come on this program, we can have a conversation. I know you're not going to take me up on it, and you would be insane if you did, but the door is always open for you because I would love to crush you in front of as many people as possible. So the door is open. Come on in. It will be nice. We'll have a nice conversation, I'm sure. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll continue next.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 Things You Should Be Talking About Today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.